Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF. It is Tuesday. You can see at the bottom of the screen is Trade Show Tuesday, baby. Hashtag Smash Accept. We are now up over 4,500 followers on our subs on YouTube. Make sure you guys smash that link, get us up over 5K before we, get to the end of July. I think we're going to absolutely dominate those numbers. You guys keep helping us smash every kind of goal and ambition that we have in this. Nobody better to chop this up with than my main man Snoog. He's on vacation. It's 100 degrees where I'm at right now in PA, but it's hot when it comes to trade shows. Snoog's on vacation. Broc's got the mustache. We're ready to roll, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I never miss Trade Tuesday, so I'm excited to jump on here. It was 100-something degrees here too today. I was by the pool all day, so I'm getting rid of that farmer's tan. So I'm excited to jump in here and talk some trades.
Hey, real quick before we start up, a little bit family business, patreon.com/smash accept. A lot of you guys have been asking, Dad, I'd really like to check this out. I'd like to try it. My redraft season's coming up. I got some Dynasty startups. No better time to sign up than right now. Using code DAD50 gets 50% off your first month. So give us a try. What do you have to lose at this point? That's super, at the best price that we're going to do for a month-to-month basis. Broc, we do the giveaways every month. We already got ourselves, my man, Dr. Bigums is going to start us off out here with the super chats already. I'm going to do something crazy tonight. All right. We've never done this. We're going to do a basic giveaway at 5. We're going to do a basic month giveaway at 10. At 15, we're going to give away Smash Accept 20 High Roller League entry. One of the guys backed out because he's got a lot of things going on. We're going to give that away. And Broc, if we hit 20, I'm going to give away a full VIP Patreon year. That's $240 value. Not
You're
a
crazy,
month.
Dad. You're crazy.
We're doing the whole year. I got my Smash tee on. I'm ready to go. Let's kick it off with Dr. Bigums.
Let's do it. Appreciate you sliding through, Doctor, coming in with our first super chat of the night. We got one side with Bo Nix and Trey McBride. Other side with Devon Achane, Travion Henderson, and Baker Mayfield. Snoog's already starting it off hot, Dad. He's motioning for it. I'll kick it over to you. Do you agree with the cowbell, or which side will we take here?
Well, see, I can't deny this Travion Henderson side for me. I mean, I love Bo Nix. I love McBride. The tricky part is I never want to sell Trey McBride. Almost every time someone comes to me with the Trey McBride side, I don't really want to trade it. So, I mean, I think Baker and Achane is very close to Nix and McBride. I think Travion Henderson just puts it over the top. So, Bigums, if you're really trying to build and get McBride as your smash tight end, because let's be honest, he's a league winner. He's a difference maker. And if it's 0.5 or 0.75 premium, it's a lot closer, but I just can't give up. We just did a show the other day. Shout out to Al Kalo. We did a show with Snoog on vacation where it was like the 6 running backs that we got to buy. And my number one buy was Travion Henderson. I think Travion Henderson is going to smash this year and really rise up in value. And Al's number one buy was Devon Achane. So, I mean, Snoog, what's the gap here? I mean, I'm assuming you're smashing on the same side that I am, but what's the gap here? Does a second get it done? Or does it have to be a late first?
It's probably a late first because I think you're getting 2 cornerstone running backs in Achane and Travion Henderson, and you're getting a QB upgrade in terms of production for next year and probably the year after. I think Bo Nix is literally just younger Baker Mayfield. I think that's the comp and that's the skill set he has. And I think the difference between getting 2 elite top 7, top 6 dynasty running backs for Trey McBride is a ridiculously big gap. I think Achane is decently close enough to McBride as is. So you're getting pretty much, I'd say, like Travion Henderson for not free, but close to it. So I think it's just an absolute smash to do.
Yeah, I think the gap there for me is a late first. That way you close that difference in there. My man here, first timer, coming in with Dole B.
All right. Appreciate you coming through tonight, Dale. He says,
sorry, can't read.
We got one side with Jerry Jeudy and a mid to late 26 first. Other side with Garrett Wilson. Dad, is this your classic insulated trade, or would you hold Garrett Wilson here?
See, I just got the same offer about 10 minutes ago where someone offered me Jeudy and a mid to late 26 first for Tedoroy McMillan. And I have Garrett Wilson above Tedoroy McMillan, and I declined on the Tet side. I love Jeudy. I really do, but I don't think the name cachet is going to get you the same. The production might be decent, but I think the gap is much bigger when you talk about a guy like Garrett Wilson, who Snoog and I both think is a dark horse wide receiver 1 upside. You know, like he's going to be a guy that's going to clearly finish in the top 12 this year. I think in a year from now, that 26th class, I think the top 6 are really nice, but I think it drops off pretty hard after that. So Snoog, I'm not buying this. I got to keep my boy Garrett.
Yeah, I'm keeping the foundational asset as well. Judy's a nice piece. We've been talking about buying him everywhere, but a mid to late first in 26. I think it would have to be an early 27-1 or a projected mid 27-1 +2. For me, I think it's off by a good amount, though.
Yeah, I think it would have to be somewhere in that 3-4 range on that one. We got our guy right here. A Moose said, "For the love of the game, boys," and those are the ones that we love. You know, we had a guy that did it last week who got a full month VIP Patreon. This 99 cents for the love of the game, just threw it in there and basically gets a $10 1 month, subscription for 99 cents. You can't beat that. One more super chat before we even start. Darth, he just joined the Discord. I love his AVI here. Go ahead and take this one over, Brock.
Let's do it. Appreciate you coming through, Darth, and appreciate the super chat. He's in a new Dynasty startup he just joined, and one person, the commissioner, decided to trade all his picks in the first 3 rounds. And now one team has 2 extra high-end players, and one team has an extra high-end player as well. So he's angry right now. Someone moved away their first 3 rounds in a startup to 2 people. One person has 2 of them. One is the other. Snoog, does this make you angry? Is this something you see often? Or, hey, does it matter what the return was? If he's getting 26, 27 picks in later rounds in the startup, I mean, should he be angry or is it just part of it?
Yeah, it's part of the game. If this commissioner knows how to kind of operate his way through the startup, then let it be. But if for the players that have those high-end players that were overpaying for those top-end picks, there's a good chance that they have literally no depth or they just have a top-heavy team and nothing else. And a lot of the times, those teams that give up their first-round picks for the future screw themselves.
Yeah, I find myself like you want to let people be their own manager. You want to have your league be as functioning as possible without the commissioner having to oversee things, to over control things. A lot of times when we have these, I've seen a lot of them recently where people just don't understand what picks are worth. I mean, a 26 first is worth a 5th rounder right now, right? I saw a guy the other day that, said he got a 2nd round startup pick for a 26 first. That 26 first would have to be the 101 for it to even be close, and I think outside of our Discord, and we have everything lined up in there for you guys to see all of our rankings, all of our, player equivalents. Think to yourself and look at it. If you guys want, I share my drafts in the Discord all the time. People are like, hey, what should this draft look like? So here's the last board. Here you go. Now all of a sudden you're at pick 412 and you say, should I trade my 26 first for it? Then you look on, the draft that we just did and you saw that Baker Mayfield. Yeah, that's okay. Right. And then but I've seen other people do it the same way where they'll look at it and say, all right, well, I'm just going to give up my 26 first for an 8th rounder. Okay. Well, now you just gave up your 26 first for Chuba Hubbard. Now you lost, you got to have a firm plan. You got to know what you're doing. And I think so many managers out there, they can really put their league behind, like in this particular situation, or they can put their, the rest of the people, they could leave a bad taste in their mouth or them not wanting to trade with them because they kind of ruined the startup. So we got another
a random 26 first in a startup is probably worth what, a 6th round startup pick? I'd say 5.
Typically speaking, over the last 5 years, I've done the math on it. It's typically, I think in 2027, it's probably going to be a 4th. But in 2026, right now, it's worth a 5th rounder. Prism, thank you for the snap there. Or for the super chat, is there another one tied to that, or is it a love of the game as we keep looking across
for the love of the game?
But people don't understand the value of 26 first. It's the reason when I do a startup, I come away with 8 of them. I think we get excited about what the known is, and sometimes we struggle with what the unknown is. That's the biggest thing that we try to teach people in the Discord is just being able to, navigate your way around and do those kind of things. So I love it. 10 minutes in, haven't done a single trade out of our 24 on the docket. And that's what we love. We make this show. A lot of you guys are listening to the podcast. A lot of you guys are watching on YouTube and you're like, hey, these guys keep, answering all these other questions. We're here as a community. When we do our trade show, we're here for fun. We want to help you guys out. We want to make sure you're making the best educated dynasty trades. And Brock, I mean, before you take over here, every single week we're getting 200 plus DMs. We're getting trade show questions. We're getting Twitter polls. We're getting Discord polls. We're getting Discord trades. I mean, it's an insane amount to try to get it on there. And I know people are always like, Dad, mine wasn't on the show last week. We do our best.
Yeah, for sure. And just as a reminder, we did hit that 5 mark for the super chat. So that's a free basic going out. 10, another free basic. 15 is going to be an opportunity to get in Smash Accept. 20, High Rollers League for the first time ever. I don't know what Dad's on. Maybe he's drinking a few C4s throughout the afternoon, but an entire year worth of the VIP Patreon, $240 value, going to be given away if we hit 20 super chats. So just a little extra incentive for you guys as we're approaching the end of June. We got training camp in about a month, boys. So best time to join the Patreon is now. But moving on to trade one here, coming from Bus Nasty over on the Discord. We got a 10-team super flex. We got Burrow on one side, Caleb, and a mid 27 first. Snoog doesn't even let me finish it anymore.
This is what we preach. This is what we preach.
Snoog. Go ahead,
Snoog. Yeah, you take this one.
You're insulating right here to go from my Dynasty QB 6 or 7 to my Dynasty QB 7 or 8. I have them back to back, and you're getting a free 27 mid first. You're getting like 7 years younger. That's estimate off the top of my head. It's probably more like 4 or 5 years younger with Caleb Williams, who has the potential to put up as many or more fantasy points in this Bears offense as Joe Burrow, or just get close to him for the next couple of years. So I think this is a banger move, especially if you're either rebuilding or you're trying to get another piece, or you're just trying to insulate because you got, Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, and you're like, my wide receivers are weak. I need a pick to go beef up that room. So let's go insulate off Burrow and keep Allen type of move. Love it. This is perfect.
I think there's a 5-year gap. When you're younger, like Snoog, age is just a number anyways. When you get old like me, we got to start looking at the individual numbers. But yeah, we're looking at 28 versus, 23. I think Caleb Williams has the potential to join that Joe Burrow tier. If this was a late 27 first, I want nothing to do with it. I'm going to stick with Burrow. But if it's mid, and I know in the notes he sent me it was early to mid. If it's early to mid, I think Caleb closes the gap more. And in 10-team, Brock, the value of the quarterback is a little bit less. I think we have that shot there. So we just got 3 more super chats as we were going. One of them expired here, so I got to just pull that up. But I mean, I think the gap between them is probably a mid first, but I think there's very few situations where I really would consider just keeping Joe Burrow there. I think I'm going with the Caleb Williams side.
Yeah.
Jaime's back.
Next super chat coming in from Jaime. Appreciate it. He said, would you try to trade the 109 and 203 and Sutton to get Hall or Garrett Wilson or Marv? Or what else should he try to look to get for it? He's trying to get a foundational player, and it's a 14-team league. So that 203 is more like, what would that be? The 207 in a 12-team, somewhere around there. So should he package that up to go get a foundational asset? Snoog, what do we think?
Yep, absolutely. Especially in one quarterback leagues. Picks are even less valuable in one quarterback leagues, especially in 2026 when it's supposed to be a quarterback class. Already to me, I'm thinking, okay, or this is 2025, it looks like, but even same thing though. It's like you want to get the foundational asset to move off picks that are a lot less valuable because Cam Ward's not going to go 104 or 106 like he usually does. No way in heck that Dart's going to go 109 before the 109. So you're probably going to end up with Loveland, Igbuka, Warren, one of those guys, but they're not Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, or even Breece Hall to me.
I would not do this for Breece Hall, but I would do it for the other two. I just think Breece Hall's cheap right now. Like this is probably an overpay for Breece Hall. But I think you're looking at maybe like Harvey, Jaden Higgins, and Sutton, which is none of those are a lock. Sutton's 30. He's getting up there. Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. are a lock to at least maintain value, if not increase value. So, I mean, if you can get Garrett, Marv, London, even JSN, Lad McConkey, you can get anybody. And when we talk about foundational players that, when you build your house, you're building off of a foundation. When we build our dynasty rosters at Smash Accept, we're talking about using a foundation of wide receivers because they last the longest. Them in the quarterback position will last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So we want a foundational asset like the, Garrett Wilson, who I believe is 23, or Marv, who's 22. So I'm doing that literally all day long. That's a no-brainer for me. Prism's back in here with another one. Just dropping it in there. Drop it like it's hot.
He has the comment below.
He has it on there?
Yeah, he said currently number 1 in my league in players. Starter value on keep trade cut. I'm competing this year 100%. Just traded Bijan, Pittman, and Jalen Wright for Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, in a 2026 mid to late first. Which side would you rather? So it's Bijan and Pittman for Barkley, Taylor, and a 26 first. Smashing the Barkley side. That's 100%. An all-in contender move. Yep.
It's a nice deal.
Good job there. Good job.
Yeah, I like that. I love these kind of comments. Dustin Lala, he says, "Yeah, Dad, I got a bone to pick with you." He's like, "Quit bringing up Cam Coleman." I've been talking a lot about that 27 class. I've been mentioning him on Twitter. I've been doing it on here, and a lot of you guys are like, "Hey, you listen to Smash Accept, you get some of the best kept secrets. You put it out ahead of time." And now all of a sudden the rest of the world's going to get it. And then that's why you guys
Cam
listen.
Coleman's the next T. Higgins.
Dude, I love him. I love him. Hey, D says, you guys and everyone, you guys helped me with 3 trades this week. Love it. And I love the thumbs up. I love that, a little bit of hang 10 type move. D, we're here to help. That's what we do. You guys message us in the Discord. You guys message us on Twitter. On Twitter, our DMs are pretty much closed. Snoog and I might answer an occasional one here or there because we're getting hundreds. But in the Discord, we are chopping it up on a daily basis. Here too, I guarantee you this: there is not another set of analysts that are more involved, that put themselves in your team's shoes, that try to help you with your rosters than Snoog, Brock, and myself, and Al as well. I mean, Al's in there grinding all the time. So thank you for that support. We really appreciate it. One more, and we will give away another basic month. Matthew Miller's got a question here.
All right. Appreciate the super chat there, Matt. He said he got offered Achane, Downs, and Burden for Hunter, Olave, and Mixon. He is a contender right now at running back. Looks like he's already loaded. Bijan, Jinty, Hampton, Mixon. Receivers, he's got Ladd, Rice, Tet, and Travis Hunter, and Olave. Thoughts? Should he accept this, Snoog, or do you think he should just stick with his players?
Wins across the board for the Travis Hunter side all day long for me.
And that's his side, so it's a hard pass.
So you're saying he shouldn't do it?
Keep Hunter for sure.
Keep Hunter.
Gotcha.
Because Hunter over H, or at least equal to Achane. You look at Olave considerably over Downs or Burden, Mixon over Downs. Like that. That's how you win right there. And I think you can make that trade where a team looks at that they're trying to upgrade at running back in perception, and that the Nick Chubb signing has a lot of people panicking on. It honestly has people panicking on Joe Mixon, and I just don't understand it, Snoog. I mean, you and I have pumped Joe Mixon for years. He's won us multiple championships. He's not going anywhere. I mean, Nick Chubb still has to prove it, right? Like, as much as you and I are some of the biggest Nick Chubb fans, he's got to be healthy and stay healthy for this to even be something that we should monitor at all.
Yeah, I agree. It's Joe Mixon season again.
All right. Back
2.
over to trade 2 coming from Alan Hansen from YouTube. We got one side with Amon-Ra and Stroud, other side with Caleb and AJ Brown. I love these. QB receiver on one side, QB receiver on the other. Dad, which duo do we want? Throw this one your way.
So you might think I'm a little crazy on this one, but I really believe the gap between Caleb and Stroud continues to grow. And I think AJ Brown is going to, if you look at what AJ Brown did in 2024 on a yards per route run basis, on an actual, when he was on the field, he was a top 5 wide receiver. So the gap between Amon-Ra and AJ Brown is really not as big as people think it is. If you can get a first plus AJ Brown for Amon-Ra, I'm doing that all day. And I think the gap between Caleb and Stroud right now is a first. So I think there's a scenario where both of these sides could come out, slightly ahead on either side. But I want Caleb and AJ Brown because I think that's going to win me a championship in 2025.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They're super, super close. I think the floors on Stroud and Amon-Ra, the ceilings on Caleb and AJ Brown. So chase what you want. If you want that ceiling, you want those. Because I think Caleb has such a higher ceiling, the finishing higher than Stroud. But I think Stroud, he's already good in the league. He's like one of the better quarterbacks when he's got an offensive line and when he's healthy and when he's ready to go with weapons and not everybody on the team's banged up. And Amon-Ra, you know, is going to get you 15 to 20 points every single week. But A.J. Brown and Caleb are going to give you those random 40, 50-point games potentially that win you weeks. It could win you the championship. So that's why I'm kind of leading that side as well.
All right.
Does it matter, 4-point versus 6-point passing there then? I mean, because Stroud's rushing floor is not much at all. Where Caleb can put up 500 yards, no doubt. So, I mean, if it's 6-point passing, I think I do actually lean the Stroud side. It gets a little bit closer. If it's 4, I'm on the Caleb side.
All right. Trade 3 here coming from Mofo FOMO over on Discord. We got one side with Jefferson and Laporta, other side with Bowers and A.J. Brown. Interesting one here. Dad, I'll kick this one your way. What do we think?
They're testing me here. You know what I mean? Because I love AJ Brown. I mean, the way I look at this is the gap between Jefferson and Bowers, and this is 0.5 tight end premium. If it's 0.75, I'm smashing the Bowers side. But I think at this point in Dynasty, Jefferson and Bowers are in the same tier. Like, I think Chase, Neighbors, Jefferson, Bowers, they're all right there. I think they're in that same spot. I do prefer AJ Brown over Laporta. He said in this particular league, he has McBride as well. I don't think that matters because you're talking about trading some absolute alphas. I low-key lean the Bowers side. I know, I just think the difference. Well, I mean, I think Laporta fell down because of a lot of the injuries there. I know, like, Snoog's anti-Laporta, but I do think
so overrated.
I'll pull up a stat here in a second that actually is going to kind of be a little bit contrarian to that, but I'm taking it because if I can get Bowers and McBride on the same team, I'm doing it wherever I can.
Yeah, for me, it's just I don't think Laporta is that good of a player, and I think Ben Johnson leaving and the offense just getting more crowded. The emergence of Jameson Williams, Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a whole new offensive system being put into play, hopefully, or potentially for that line. I don't think Sam Laporta is an elite talent to begin with. I think he's more
a great spot.
I think he's more in that, like, closer to a Mark Andrews than he is a George Kittle, Travis Kelce type of tight end, which is fine. He's good. Like, he's a good player, but he's not no dynasty tight end one. And Dad and I were saying before Bowers even played a single snap that it wasn't close, and then he was the clear dynasty tight end one when he got drafted. So I think the issue with Laporta is that AJ Brown and Bowers side, especially in the tight end premium league, has a higher ceiling because AJ Brown could finish right there with Justin Jefferson. Like, he's gotten close to it, so he could do it, and he has the same ceiling. So,
yeah, the crazy thing with Laporta, first 9 games, 3.6 targets, 2.8 catches, 41 yards, finishes the tight end 14. The final 8, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 51 yards, finished that tight end 6. For him, it's the touchdowns. If he doesn't get the touchdowns, we're definitely going to be struggling. Bowers is going to put up every single year. He's going to be in line for Triple Crown for most receptions, most yards, and most touchdowns for the tight end position. AJ Brown is not that far off when it comes to Justin Jefferson in pure production. So if you're all in, that's the way to go here. We got a couple more super chats. Make sure to pull these up here. And I mean, we got to, here we go. We have the first one from, come on, show it. Mark G. Mark G says, my bad, forgot to pay homage. I'm not sure what that one is, but I really appreciate it. Throwing that in there. And Mark Finneran says, choose one to tier off. Mahomes, Stroud, or May. Brock, I know I stole that one, so I'm going to let you pick here. If you had to trade one of these guys, you have all 3 of them. Which one are you choosing to tier off? Because Snoog and I talk about this all the time, is I don't want to roll with 3 top 12 quarterbacks. I want to tier off one of them, and I want to get some other assets.
I would always tier off of the one that can get me the biggest return, especially for guys like this where, for the most part, I think right now I have May, Mahomes, Stroud in that order. But if I can get the most for Mahomes, he's gone. If I can get the most for May and tier down to someone else, like a Goff plus or a Baker plus, I'm doing that. I'm tearing off of whichever one can get me the biggest return, honestly. That's how I normally look at it and just see which one's going to give me, throw them all out there on the trade block and see which one the offers start coming for.
I feel like it's May at this point gets you the biggest return.
Value. It might be.
I have Drake May in a couple leagues, and out of nowhere, just since I've been on vacation, I've had like 7 people try to buy Drake May off me randomly out of the
And
blue. And I'm
he's
like,
kind of
whoa,
that.
what do you do?
He's kind of that player where he's such a darling, where he's almost
He is.
overpriced himself at this point. 99% of the industry outside of Snoog and I actually have May over Caleb Williams at this point. The weapons are not the same. The offensive line is not the same. The head coaching is not the same. And what you saw year one was good, but it's not that much better where you're like, let's move Caleb out of the way.
If you flip them with May's rushing upside, I think May would be consensusly priced as like a top 6 QB right now. If you just flip the situations with May's rushing upside, which is crazy because, we love Drake May on the show. We always have. But in
New England, we're one Stephon Diggs injury away from saying, oh my gosh, who the heck's the wide receiver again? They did Kyle Williams I like, but I mean, Kyle Williams, let's be honest, as much as we want him to hit, could be another Javon Baker. I mean, I think he's better than Javon Baker. I think he's better than Jalen Polk, but it's not a lock. Yeah. I mean, at his undersized, spot and where he went in the draft, it's not the draft capital that we're saying this is a sure thing. So let's see what Dustin wants here.
Let's do it. Appreciate the super chat here, Dustin. You got a 12-team super flex, half-point tight end premium. Right now at QB, he has Dak, Bryce Young, and Michael Penix. At running back, Henry, Achane, Dobbins, and I'll assume that's receiver, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Tet, Brian Thomas, and Sutton. Could be Chase Brown, but probably Jamar. Tight end, Andrews, and Hawkinson. Right now, he has the opportunity to trade Achane for Bo Nix straight up, Dad. With his QB room, Dak, Penix, and Bryce. Running backs don't seem that deep, so it doesn't really seem like an immediate need. But
I'm not doing this. I mean, I think if you really, the quarterback room is not that bad. I mean, it's not great. It's not league winning, but you're taking your only viable running back and trading him for another quarterback. I mean, if you want to trade for Bo Nix, make it Bryce Young or Michael Penix plus and try to do something like that. Like if you really want to go get Penix or you want to really go get Bo Nix, offer Achane and Penix for Bo Nix and, Chase Brown type or a guy that, is not that far off in value. But I don't think this is the type of move that I'm making because it totally depletes you unless you're trying to like punt and not have any points from the running back position. I just can't see making this move.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there. I think the play is tearing up off of Penix or Bryce. Keep an Achane. Unless you're trying to go rebuild mode, but like with those wide receivers, you have 4 foundational wide receiver assets. You got Dak, you got Achane, you got good tight ends. You got honestly a really strong build all around. QB's weak. Take Penix, take advantage of the hype. Go get, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy,
Lawrence Stack,
Stroud, Love. Like I think you could take your 26-1 in Penix and go get, one of those elite quarterbacks at the top of the line there. But so Mark G actually put his thing in the comment. He actually just did another super chat to get this question through. Mark G owes my girlfriend a crumble cookie because my girlfriend's blowing up my phone saying, don't miss Mark G's comment. He commented it in the chat. I feel bad. Like his super chats, he put his comment and thing, but it didn't go with his super chat. Mark G, you're going to get a free month of the Patreon on my dollar. Dad will set you up. PM him after this.
All right. Well, hey, and he might win anyways, because we're up to 13 now. So we will give away 2 basic months of the Patreon. And if we hit 2 more, we're going to give away that Smash Accept 20 invite. That is a $200 buy-in. Now, we're not paying your way in, but you get an opportunity to draft with Snoog and I. We have not done this for the last 11 drafts. It's just been me out here on an island, and Snoog's like, yo, I'll come back in this. I'll get you back in here. So Mark G's question. Go ahead, Brock.
All right, Mark coming through, defending champ. Congrats, Mark. He needs depth, though. So should he trade T and Jonnu for Pickens and Chase Brown? Is Nico and Rice enough for Jefferson? So it looks like, well, we'll start with the first one there, Snoog. Okay.
I like both.
2 bangers.
Well, if he's getting Nico and Rice, I'm doing it. Yeah, like if you get Nico and Rice.
Sounds like he is.
The other one is close. I love Chase Brown this year, though. I think Chase Brown is going to absolutely
I just
dominate.
think Pickens, too. Like, I think John is such an odd man out here. Pickens is going to give you a strong flex play. He could give you a wide receiver 2 numbers, and Chase Brown's going to be an RB1. T, yes, he We love T. We love having T on our team, but there's a damn good chance he plays 12 games, puts up 800 yards, has 2 40-point weeks, and then doesn't do anything else. He's done it 4 years. He had a good year last year, but he is frustrating to own. So I'm fine doing something like this.
If we knew T. Higgins was going to play a full slate, he would be so much higher. But hey, Mark, he's throwing this. I'm going to throw you our first cowbell of the show just because it's what most of you guys are asking for. You're like, we need that cowbell. We want verification. I've now changed my hashtag smash accept to have a cowbell in it, so because you guys really are starting to build up on that cowbell. So awesome. Here we go.
All right. Trade 4 coming from SMerkXZ over from YouTube. We got one side with Gibbs and the other side with Achane and a late 27 first. Or if it's a little bit off, what would close the gap for you, Snoog? I can read your face there. You think it's a little off?
I need an Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams type of player thrown in, or like 2 seconds in value, an early 2, or another first and give Gibbs in a second in a small piece, like something like that. I do still think there's a good size gap between Gibbs and Achane as a talent and as just a player in general. Like there's so much more uncertainty with that Dolphins offense and Achane than there is with Gibbs and the Lions.
I don't think people realize how good Gibbs really is. I mean, I was getting into it with a guy on Twitter. He's like, why do you and Snoog have Gibbs over Bijan? I'll tell you why.
He's better. Bijan, he's literally better.
Weeks 1 through 13, Bijan 18.9, Gibbs 18.2, right? Monty goes down 29.2. That's Christian McCaffrey type numbers. Where if Tyler Algiers goes down, Bijan gets a couple more carries. They're still going to have somebody else in there. Where at both of them you're splitting hairs. But when it comes to trading those kind of guys, I need a mid first plus that 27 first. I love the fact that we're getting YouTube questions on here. I mean, the amount of YouTube questions we get a week has risen incrementally. I love it. Keep them coming. I also love super chats. Keep them coming. We got number 14 here from my man, Dr. Bigums.
Dr. Bigums coming back for the second super chat of the night. Appreciate it, Bigums. He said he's got a mid-row team trying to retool and wants to trade Nico for Rashi Plus. Is that the move? And what's the gap? If so, 10-team super flex. Snoog 1-2 swap. Dad, you think that's about right?
Yeah. Or something similar to that. But I think where you can trade get an Addison and give up a Sutton, where it's a player 1-2 swap.
Like
but that's
that.
it.
Yeah, I like
Nico.
That.
But the deal is, at the end of the year, I mean, Rice is not going to get suspended. Rice in yards per route run is right up there with Nico, and he's got Mahomes. They
both do.
Snoop keeps selling me on Mahomes' resurgence here, and every single week I'm getting closer and closer and believing it. So
let's go.
Everybody always mocks me. They're like, Dad's got Mahomes on his left shoulder or right shoulder, whatever side you guys are on, and he takes a crap on him, and I'm like, hey.
All right, trade 5 coming through from Robert V. Seamus coming from Twitter. We got one side with Nico and Debo. Other side, well, I guess this is a trade just like we saw. Would a Ken Walker Debo swap do it for you, Snoog? That's it.
I do think it's risky on the Walker Rice side, but it's all ceiling team with Walker and Rice. Like both of those players are so talented in good situations to thrive. If they hit their ceilings, you're getting 2 top 5 to 10 players at their position.
Well, and when I was saying 1-2 swap, I mean I was saying Addison and Sutton, and that's like 108 to 204. I have Walker at like 107, 108, and I have Debo barely worth a second, more like that 210.
Yeah,
so Robert,
I agree. Danger.
Walker and Rice.
Nice.
I mean, even I don't like Walker. I don't own him anywhere. I don't have a single share. But the upside is there, and I think you can flip him for considerably more, and where the gap between Rice and Nico is not as big as people want it to be.
Yeah.
All right, 15th super chat. So we hit that milestone. Going to be doing the opportunity to get in that Smash Accept 20. But 5 more, Dad. 5 more. Going to be giving away a free VIP entire year of the Patreon.
That's
$240 like value.
Getting to be best friends with Snoog, myself, and you, just talking up on a daily basis.
Let's do it. So this one coming through from Jordan. Appreciate it, Jordan. A 12-team start 10 Superflex Dynasty PPR, the usual. We got Chase for BTJ, Pearsall, and Javonte. Dad's got the cowbell in his hand, Snoog. We agree?
Yo, it's Jamar Chase. It's not even close. I
It is.
love Brian
It
Thomas
is.
Jr. I do, but I don't think the gap between them is still a mid first. And Purcell and Javonte Williams do not close that gap for a
Bird
mid
sandwiches, polish them up with
Yeah,
BTJ. Go get
don't- I
go get a
think Purcell-
superstar asset.
I think Purcell's going to be fine, and I think Javonte could win that job. Low key, I'm starting to literally feel a Miles Sanders resurgence coming on, but that offense is as ambiguous as you
That'll
can
be
get.
funny.
Yeah. This next one coming from Stefanta Baby. He said, "Thank you, Dad Snoog, for both your help with their team. Wanted to hear your live thoughts on a completed trade 10-team Superflex." So we got one side, JSN and a second in 2027. Other side is Kyler, Judy, and a 2027 first. Dad, what do we think here for Stefanta Baby?
I really like the Kyler Murray side. I mean, I
Me
think
too.
Kyler Murray has been, crapped on enough. I think every single year Kyler Murray plays, he's a top 10 quarterback. Right now in Dynasty, he's valued at like QB 14, redraft QB 13. He's always top 10. We just, say what you want. There was the Call of Duty thing. He doesn't get it done. He's short, blah, blah, blah. He puts up top 10 quarterback numbers every year. So, I mean, the gap between JSN and Murray is not, I think Murray Judy equals JSN. So basically you're getting a free 1-2 swap. And for me, Stefanta Baby, that's how you do it. That's a cowbell.
That's a cowbell.
Give me that
Yep.
Murray side all day long. And Snoog, you and I really come around on Judy too. I'm buying Judy where I can. What's funny is whenever we do a show where we talk about guys that we have to buy, everybody in all 20 Smash leagues sends me a trade. The amount of Jerry Judy offers I've got now where I'm like,
Yeah, I did too after that show in Smash 9. I got a couple offers.
I was like, yo, chill, guys, chill. We're not going that far.
All right, next one coming through from Logan Christie over from Twitter. We got one side with Drake London and a 27 third. Other side with Ayuk, Pat Bryant, I'll go ahead and throw out there, and two mid to late 27 firsts. Okay, wow. Ayuk, Pat Bryant, 2 firsts. You liking that side, Snoog?
Yeah, that's a cowbell for Brandon Ayuk. Let's not forget, he's not no scrub. Brandon Ayuk is still a good wide receiver in the NFL. The 2 mid to late 27 first and Pat Bryant cancel out Drake London. You're getting Brandon Ayuk for a 27 third. That's how I'm looking at that trade.
Drake London and Drake May. It's the year of the Drakes. Not Drake the rapper.
Love them both.
Fell off
They're
hard,
overvalued right now.
But I mean, these guys have both ascended so much in value, and I think Drake London has a dark horse wide receiver 1 upside. You look at guys that have the volume that he does, the guys that have the opportunity, and then the Falcons have a 29th ranked defense. He's going to eat like crazy. Where you're talking about, if this is 2 mids, this is the way I look at this. You have Ayuk. If it's 2 late, it's fair. If one or either of them become mid, it's the Ayuk side. And if Pat Bryant, who I really like, takes a step forward, I mean, I think there has a real opportunity for this to be a one-sided affair. I would take this trade. I would flip Ayuk in a second for Devontae Adams in a first. Now I'm going to get the same production, and I got all these firsts just sitting here burning holes in my pocket. So it's a tough one. I hate trading Drake London, but when you're talking about 2 mid,
I don't love trading them either.
Yeah, and we got
right.
more
One of those, you got to do it.
We have more Drake Londons on the way.
Trade 7
Nice.
coming from Tay23 over on the Discord. So we got Jamar and an early 26 first. Other side with Bowers, Pacheco, and 2 mid 27 firsts. Dad, you're over there smiling. What do we think?
So we were talking about this one. I mean, I was talking with him. The early 26 first, Snoog, if it helps, it's 1 or 2. And everybody's like, Dad, you can't foresee into the future, and I get it. There's some just teams where it's going to be. So it's the 101 or the 102. So it's Jeremiah Love, Lenoris Sellers, maybe Arch Manning. We'll see what happens in 2026. This is a tough trade because, if those two, I like Bowers. Let's talk about the gap here. What's the gap between Bowers and Chase?
Probably
Is
a
it
second.
An early second, maybe a late
Yeah.
first. So let's let's call it a late first. So let's take one of those firsts off the other side. So now we're looking at it as, the early 26 first or Pacheco and a mid 27 first. And I think those mid 27 firsts are really going to be considerably more. And then you're talking about the gap between the middle to the late. So I lean this is hard. This is really hard. You know, like I look at it 1 minute, I lean Chase, the next I lean Bowers, but I think I'm taking Bowers here, unless it's a pure lock. If it's the 101 lock and you know it, and it's going to be Jeremiah Love, you're getting two beasts. But then you're talking about Bowers, and then you say in 27, you know, I'm starting to like some of the running backs more in 2027. I know.
Those mid 27 ones can be like stud wide receivers. You could probably name 4 or 5 27 receivers that would be wide receiver 1 in the 26 class on your hand.
Or more.
So I think, yeah, and there's going to be good quarterbacks in that class as well. So there's a good chance you're getting like RB 1 or 2 or like wide receiver 2 or 3 like you did in 2024 at that, you know, 104 to 106 range, 107 range. I want Bowers too, especially in tight end premium.
Yeah. I think, Snoog, you're right. I think there's at least 6 wide receivers who are better than Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson. I think, you know, Jeremiah Love, if he was in the 2027 class today,
probably be RB1.
Would be 105. He'd be RB1, but he'd be the 105. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
probably.
That if you were just combining them all in a Devy world, it's a lot easier to look at. But I mean, you know, because I think there's at least 3 quarterbacks that I would value over Love. I would probably value Ryan Williams. I definitely value Jeremiah Smith. So here we go. Mark, I'll let you do the last name. You're good at
Mark L. Mark L. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'm seeing a lot of consonants back to back. It's not a fun task for me. So appreciate the super chat, Mark L. We got one side with Ayuk and the 302, other side with the 109, 10-team super flex. He has 5 top 15 wide receivers, so loaded at receiver. Would you take the pick here, Snoog, or would you take Ayuk in the 3rd?
I think the value might be on Ayuk a little bit, but I kind of want the pick. I want the re-roll. I have a Emeka Egbuka over Brandon Ayuk, and that's probably who's going to be there. So give me that 109 side for the flexibility of what I can do with that pick, because Ayuk's not a hard commodity.
I'm handedly taking that 109. If you have 5 top 15 wide receivers, and Snoog, you know I've done this. I've made a living off of doing this, where my roster is so good, but I'll have 3 firsts, and I'm going to go ahead and draft, and it's like, let me trade Brandon Ayuk and get the 109. And then when we get to the 109, let me trade that for a 27 first plus Cortland Sutton. And now it's like we just keep moving back. You keep adding that. Speaking of adding, we hit that 20. We are definitely going to give away the free 1 year of VIP Patreon. Dave Roberts, first time, you know, super chat. Let's get to his question here.
Let's do it. So he's got a 12-team super flex PPR dynasty, no tight end premium here. Would you trade Burrow, Wilson, Hall, and Burden for Bowers, Baker, and Ginty? Also, thank you for responding to me the other day, Dad. So we will kick this one over to you, Dad. Big trade here. Some heavy hitters. What side do we like?
All right. So we're talking about 12-team super flex. So Burrow is the primary piece here. You know, I think I like Garrett Wilson. I like Breece Hall. I like Burden. Genty's the secondary piece here. I mean, like that's so like you're getting Ginty and Bowers. Bowers right now is going 108. Genty's going late first, like 112 to 201 range.
No tight end premium. Bowers isn't going 108 though.
I think he's still a first round pick though. The gap, like he's that good. So for me, let's take it this way. Let's say Baker and Bowers equal Burrow and Hall for me. You know, like I'm firmly in that area. I think, you know, I like Bowers that much more than Breece Hall to close that gap. Ginty then it becomes Ginty or Garrett Wilson and Luther Burden. And if you have the quarterbacks to get it done, I think I want the Bowers side. I want that Raiders connection. If you have 2 quarterbacks. Snoog, I always hate giving up the best piece. I always hate giving up the quarterback. But Bowers and Ginty are, by the end of the year, I mean, I think they could both be number 1 at their position. And Baker is a top 5 quarterback in back-to-back seasons. I think Baker puts up good numbers. Am I wild on this one? You know, like I think Burden is the difference maker, where it's like 3 for 3, and then you get that Burden thrown in. Some people might favor that side. I'm low-key leaning the Bowers, Baker, Ginty side. And David, I know I helped you with the other trade. So before you fully pull the trigger on this one, send me your roster so we can break it down more.
Yeah, this one seems like one of those classic ones we talk about, Dad, where there's no clear winner. I think we could find a better trade if we're giving up players like that. Whether it's a whatever side that I just don't. I just don't
Make it smaller.
think you need. I don't think you need to do this type of trade. If you're going to do a trade like this, you could keep, Wilson and Hall and Burden, and then go ahead and do something like Burrow and Hall for Bowers and something along those lines, but definitely not loving what this is here.
I mean, was I wild in saying Burrow and Hall are the equivalent of Baker and Bowers? I would slightly lean on the Burrow side there, but I think the gap then Genty is astronomically higher up than Wilson or Hall at this point. Like, I don't think either of them have the potential to catch up to where he's at. They would have to both, because of the negative connotation of the Jets, because of, past failures they haven't been bad. However, the fantasy community thinks they have and underperformed. So, Dave, hit us up on the DM on that one. We'll help you up a little bit further.
All right, Jordan, coming back again. Appreciate the super chat. Again, 12-team, start 10, PPR, 1 point tight end premium, so 2 points per reception for tight ends. We got 26th third on one side, 26th third and Pearsall for Loveland. You guys are already in agreement.
Yo, I'm lower on Snoog than Loveland, but I mean, the trades I'm seeing, I saw Cortland Sutton and a second for him the other day. I saw Jonnu and the 112, and I'm just like, Loveland is going to hit. It might not be in 2025. He will be a top 5 dynasty tight end. Snoog and I already have him up there. So go get Loveland, go get Warren. They're both going to be good.
Yep.
All right, next one coming in from Justo FPS. He sold Garrett Wilson for Adams, Tracy, and a 27 first and second. Thoughts?
Now that I do. I mean, Snoog, we talk about you're getting Adams, who's going to put up more, if not like at least the same as Garrett Wilson, if not more. Then you get the 27 first, and then Snoog, what I'm doing is I'm trading Tracy in that 27 second for another 27 first, or flipping Tracy and getting out of that. And this is a great trade for me. I've been saying similar to this of like trying to get that insulation, and this is well done.
I feel like it's missing a Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, James Conner type of piece, or another second for me. Tracy just doesn't knock my socks off. I don't see it with him at all. He seems like he's like another. I mean, he could be pretty good if he keeps the pass catching role. I just think Scadabo's a better player.
Yeah, we're flipping him, and you and I talk about this all the time where we're already talking to the next guy.
Flip him plus a second, go get Mixon or something. Yeah.
What is the gap? How many 27 firsts is Garrett Wilson worth right now?
Probably like 2 27 ones and
like a mid and a late. Or 2 lates in a second. So Adams is an early 2, Tracy's a mid 2. It's more like 3 seconds in a 27 first. I just think if I would be willing to take the Devontae Adams risk.
Yeah. Next one coming in from Darren Bowling. Appreciate the super chat, Darren. We got a PPR and a 1/4 point for every single carry. We got one side with Ladd, Tracy, and a 27 first. Other side, Worthy, Hampton, and a 27 second. So it looks like they got a 1-2 swap in there, Dad. What do we think on this one?
First off, shout out to you, Darren. I see you in the Discord literally answering in the trade talk section, answering everybody's questions, getting involved. I love that kind of mentality. That's what makes Smash Accept community so much different than other Discords is it's people helping people. It's not just Snoog and myself. It's you guys talking shop and answering those Twitter polls. Worthy, I'm looking at Ladd and Hampton being very similarly valued. So then it goes Tracy in a first or Worthy in a second. And I want the first, I want that 27 first. I know the points per carry. You could say Hampton's worth more than Ladd, and I get that. But I think everything in this class comes down to projections. And if that isn't a late first, I want that 27 first. Ladd's the most secure piece here. And as much as I love Hampton, you guys know I do, I'm kind of leaning the Ladd side. Snoog, am I crazy? I mean, we need a little bit more context. It could be a late first, early second. Then I would lean Worthy. But if it's a mid first or a mid first versus mid second or a late first versus late second, I kind of lean the Ladd side.
Yeah, I lean on the Ladd side as well, but I do think it's a close trade. I think you could kind of wash away Hampton and Ladd. I think they're pretty close in value. Where it is getting me a little bit, though, is the Worthy in a second for Tracy in a first. I do think I want that 27 first in that trade, but it's so close. I think it splits everything all around, and then the 0.25 per carry for Hampton. So I think team context kind of matters here with maybe we're stacked at running back and need a wide out or other way around. I think that'll help determine it.
For sure.
All right. Next one coming in from Christopher C. Appreciate the super chat there, Chris. He said, in a 12-team PPR Dynasty Superflex, half point for tight end premium, do you like this trade? AJ Brown, Pacheco, and Royals, and a fourth for a mid-26 first, a mid-27 first, and RJ Harvey. Snoog, I'll throw this one your way. What do we think?
I think that's a cowbell. AJ Brown probably equals the first in Harvey, and then it's a 27-1 for Pacheco and Royals. I think that's a banger.
I've been seeing a bunch of these. I mean, like we have another one coming up here that's Harvey in a first. Is like I think people are panicking the wrong way on Harvey. Like J.K. Dobbins again, just like I said with Najee Harris, it's 2.0 like 0.8 million in guarantees. He was great last year. You know, J.K. Dobbins is not here to be the long-term answer or to massively eat into the workload, just like Najee isn't. You know, so I mean, I think Dobbins is going to be a little bit of a thorn in his side in the beginning, but I think we're going to see him absolutely dominate towards the back end. There are so many comments in here trying to actually find
where those last comments.
Where I'm trying to get back to this is absolutely insane. I mean, like we've filled up so many. Honestly, I'm just scrolling back. All right, let me get back to this. We are on trade number 8 from Ryan Costanza.
All right. Got a trade here coming from Ryan over on the Discord. He said, after the show that you had with Alcala a few days ago, he said, one side, James Cook, other side, Aaron Jones, and an early to mid 27 first, Dad. What do we think?
Hey, also,
he cooked up Judkins in a mid to late 27 first for Hampton and a 26 third.
Kudos to you, brother. This is what we were really saying is the running back position is so volatile. After Bijan, Gibbs, and Genty, I'm doing 27 first plus. And I think, and it depends on who that is, but James Cook right now is worth a late first. If you get Aaron Jones, who's been a rock solid RB2 in a early to mid first, you smash the heck out of it. And Snoog has been saying this about this running back class that we have. You can love Omarion Hampton and still make this trade and know you're getting Quinshon Judkins plus crazy insulation, Snoog. I mean, the only running back that I'm not doing this for, I would not do this for Genty, but the rest of the guys, Henderson, Hampton, Judkins, Caleb, Harvey, if I get a first on top of any of them for the other one, I'll do it. I would do this for Caleb. I would do this for Harvey even.
Yeah, we all knew it's a stacked running back rookie class, and getting, that insulated move with a 27 first on top. I mean, that 27 first could end up being the best player in the trade. We don't know, but that's the best part about it is I think there's a real good chance that Judkins could flip Hampton and you're getting a first. So that's a banger move.
100%.
All right, good deal. Next one coming in from Caleb Leach over on Twitter. Got a contending team. We got one side with JSN, Kamara, and a 26 second. Other side with Rashi, Kenneth Walker, and Devontae Adams. Dad, what do we think here with this one?
I definitely want to pass this one over to Snoop to start because he reached out in the DMs. He said, loves the show, watch the YouTube show all the time. I said, hey, let's answer your question and let's throw it on the live. Let's have some fun. So Snoop, I already answered this one for him. Just wanted to get your feedback.
I think it's a smash for the Rashi Rice side.
Absolutely.
Walker, Devontae Adams, and Rashi Rice. I think that's a banger move.
I like Adams at the same as Alvin Kamara, but I think the gap between Rashi and JSN is much smaller than the gap between, a random 26 seconds.
Probably like a 2-3 swap right now, and I think Rice could pass him after this year.
100%. Love it. I love it when they reach out into the DMs and like I say it and then you verify it. It happens to us in the Discord. And honestly, Al was talking about this on the show the other day. He said, you know what? He's like 99% of the time, you and Snoog are on the same page. I occasionally get a DM that says break the tie. You know what I mean? And I think most of the time we don't agree 100% player for player, but we do agree process for process.
All right, next one coming in from LaFly AC over on Discord. We got one side with Kenneth Walker, Jordan Addison, and a random 27 first. Other side with London, Downs, and Marvin Mims. Snoog's motioning for it. You agree, Dad?
Yeah.
Again, flip Addison after that.
I love Drake London. I really do. But, I mean, you're looking at Addison, a first, and Walker, Downs, and Mims. Yeah. I mean, I think Downs could have a nice season. but I think Mims is just an extra add-on here. I would need Mims to be an early second to even consider staying with this one, or a 28 first maybe.
Yeah. All right. Next one coming in from Nathan Orlandi over on Discord. And we got Hertz and Chase Brown on one side. Other side with Justin Fields, Quinshon Judkins,
Another
and a
one.
late 26-1. Is it another one, Dad? You agree?
Which
Jalen
side?
Hurts all day.
Oh yeah,
All
thank you,
day.
thank you. Hey, when I see Quinshon Judkins, sometimes Snoog gets such a chubby over there where he gets tunnel vision. So like I that's what I said too. I said that's a clear smash accept for me.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
taking that
smash.
side all day long there. So moving on to the next one, and we're cranking them here. You know, again, 22 super chats in. We are going to give away right now. We've already given away 2 months of basic. We're giving away the Smash 15. We're giving away a full
20
year. Yes, sorry. We're giving away a full. Yeah, we're not giving away your spot in Smash 15. We're not gonna like Brock spots up for grabs. But we're gonna give away a full year, a $240 value for our roll today, which is just wild. We've never done anything like that.
All right. And you can still get those super chats in if you want a few love of the games to get some more entries here before we run the spinner soon.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to
Go
go with. It's just another entry.
Yeah, you can
All
do
right.
multiple entry.
Next trade coming from David Bucktieri. Maybe that's the lineman. Who knows? We got one side, ETN, and a 26 third. Other side with Pollard. Snoog, your darling ETN. We keeping him on this side? What do we think?
Yeah, I want the ETN side. Better player than Pollard, has a chance to outscore more, and you get the third on his side.
At this point, why not? You know, like there are very few situations. If I was like, okay, I need running back production and I need it to be stable. Yes, Pollard for ETN straight, maybe. I don't like to make that kind of move because ETN had, you know, if you look at the 2 years next to each other, his 23 was considerably better than Pollard's 23. He really down 24, but I love the situation with you know, Liam Cohen coming in. Why not take the extra? He's one of our biggest, you know, cheap buys right now.
Yeah. Next trade coming in from Kagwamero LE from the Discord. We got one side with AJ Brown and Pitts, other side Snoog's favorite tight end, Sam Laporta and Luther Burden. So I'll throw this one your way, Snoog. What do we think?
Yeah, it's AJ Brown smash for me all day long. Getting a cornerstone asset versus, I mean, I do think Burden could be good, and I do think Laporta is a good asset to have, but like, I don't know. Kyle Pitts is just kind of a stash. Hope he ends up being something that's not, you know, a guy that puts up 200 receiving yards and hurts his knee every game, but there's a good chance that AJ Brown side is better than the Burden and Laporta side straight up.
I like the AJ Brown side too, with the caveat of, and I know in this particular trade that he actually has Bowers as well. So like if you're giving it up to get that elite wide receiver, I'm fine. Kyle Pitts is just such an anomaly of like, he could be a tight end one again. You know, I don't see that as a stretch, you know, they don't have a clear number two. I mean, Mooney's fine, but I think Penix might make him a little bit better. We can't forget that he was a top 12 tight end at one point, you know, so like I think he has tons of upside. But
real quick, Dad, when you're doing trade talks like that, you know, you have Bowers and Laporta, you're moving some of your tight end depth. Is it just let's get Pitts in there just to get someone behind Bowers? You never know. Or like, would you rather prefer like a mid or a random 27 second? How do you kind of view maybe valuing just a pick who you might like more than the player, but at the end of the day, you might want to get another body behind Bowers if something were to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would probably start with the pick on this one, you know, because Pitts is an interesting one trying to figure it out. If you're a contender, I'd love this if it was Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram's going to be a top 5 tight end this year. You know, so if I'm all in, I want AJ Brown and another guy that's going to be a Kelsey and Ingram, someone that's going to be in that area. So that's where it probably started out right with the Laporta AJ Brown deal, and then the other guy was like, well, I like AJ Brown more than Laporta. Let's get Burden in here. So then it starts to become more of a 2-for-2 where you start to get players that you got to diagnose a little bit more. So I'm always trying to get as much juice from the squeeze as I can. I'm always trying to get a little bit more. Speaking of more, we just hit 4 super chats. We'll answer these very quickly.
Let's do it. This one coming in from Damien. Appreciate it, Damien. We got one side with Pacheco. Well, Pacheco, a 27-1 and a 26 third. Other side for Travis Hunter. 1 quarterback, 12 teams, start
You know my
9
answer.
Snoog.
This Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, this has to be Pacheco is, I mean, if you can add a first to Pacheco and get there, as long as this 27 is great, but I think there's 4 quarterbacks in the top 8 picks in your Superflex draft, or at least 3. So that depletes the value of a 27 first when we're talking about a 1 quarterback league. I'm taking Travis Hunter there all day long.
Good deal. Emu's coming back for the love of the game. We appreciate it. And Jordan coming back for her 3rd time. She's asking, should she tear down from Chuba and Andrews? 10 classic 1-point tight end premium. I don't think she's asking for which side here, but what would Snoog for a couple trades, maybe to down tier from Andrews and then maybe from Chuba at running back, maybe some insulated trades? What would those look like?
I would honestly try to keep them or tier up from them. I don't really think you can down tier much more unless you can get like Kamara in a second for Chuba in a third, or someone like that.
Yeah.
Or like
I would do that with Ingram.
Andrews,
Ingram
you're better off. Yeah, maybe Andrew or Ingram, but I think you're better off keeping Andrews in 1-point tight end premium. I think he can gain some value back and have a good year.
Yeah, it's tough when you're trying to trade players that are Chuba Hubbard will always score more fantasy points than he's worth in a trade value. And I think Mark Andrews is arguably in that same area where players that score more fantasy points but aren't as sexy for a trade are usually guys that you want to keep.
Yeah. All right. Trade 14 here coming from a Colossal Tighten Up over on Discord. It's a fun one. We got GT, pair of 2s for next year and the year after, or Neighbors. Dad, how far off are they right now? Does 2 2s close it, or we need a little more?
I think this is fair. The way we just went from talking about some of the least sexy players to the most. I think if I'm taking Neighbors just because I think the gap. Yeah, I mean, I think the gap is a early second. I don't think it's a late first anymore for Genty and Neighbors. Maybe 112, 111. But I want Neighbors everywhere I can get them. I mean, the rookie season that he had. Now, as much as you might not like Russell Wilson, the value there is considerably higher now that he's there. So on the same token, and I love this one. He said he also just got a 28 first for Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. Cowbell ? Heck yeah. At this point, it is a muddled garbage Colts quarterback room. You can get both of them. That's fine. But when we're talking about quarterback battles between the Colts have just screwed this up royally. Like they're really fighting between 2 guys that might not get it done. So I'm personally taking Neighbors over Genty in 2 seconds. If it was a late first, I think I'd go Genty. Snoop?
Yeah, I think it's probably a 1-2 flop type of move, but I probably want Neighbors here. If it's anything more than 2 seconds, like if it's a player like a Kamara in a second, or Devontae Adams in a second, or CMC, like something like that, I would want that side. It would need to be more than 2 seconds, just something more enticing than 2 seconds for me, unless I could go flip those seconds right away.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Trade 15 coming from SSBB1248 over on Discord. We got one side with Travis Hunter and a projected mid 27 first. Other side with Ashton Jeanty. Snoog, what do we think on this one?
Yeah, I'd probably lean the Hunter side here, but I don't know, actually. It's real close. I like getting that mid 27 one, though.
I'm taking Genty unless it's truly, like we all say mid,
top
right?
6. It needs to be top 6.
If it's early, sure. But I think Genty, honestly, Snoog, the dude's going to get 300+ touches. He's a lock for a top 5 running back year 1. And by this time next year, he's going to be a top 10 pick in Superflex. Hunter needs to do a lot more to get into that area, but I like the insulation. If you're rebuilding, I think that's not a horrible deal, but I want Genty wherever I can get him.
Yeah. Next one coming from Datos NFL, coming from Twitter. We got one side with a stack there, May and Diggs. Other side with Tua, Connor, and a 26 first. Dad, what side are we leaning?
Superflex is Drake May, even if Diggs isn't even on this. Tua and a first is you're killing that one. So not even close for me. We've reached a little bit of a little bit long in the episode. So the next several here, we're gonna go a little bit faster, just one of us back and forth.
All right, trade 17 coming from Icon 3000 over on the Discord. One side Penix, a first next year and a first the next year. Other side with Geno and Penix's one receiver, Drake London. Snoog, the other one went to Dad. What do you think on this one?
I want Penix and the 2 firsts all day long here. I think that's a great value to get off of London and Geno.
All right, good deal. Next one coming from Shazam 49 over on Discord. We got one side with Olave and the 103, other side with Smitty, Keon, and a first next year and a second next year.
Olave 103, not even debating this one much. I mean, I think honestly, you look at it as the 103 is over Devontae, Keon, and the second. So you're basically getting Olave for a late 26 first. And I think Olave is going to bounce back.
Good deal. Next one coming from Matney 101 over on the Discord. We got one side with CeeDee Lamb, other side with Kenneth Walker, and a random 27 first. Snoog, what do we think?
This is a cowbell for CeeDee Lamb side all day.
Yeah.
Go get that foundational league-winning asset.
Yeah, that's a fun one, though, because I think people are so enamored with those 27 firsts that, like, you should not be able to take a Kenneth Walker, Jordan Addison type and throw a first on and get to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is a foundational league winner. Even if Kenneth Walker puts up 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns, the gap is still not this. It's going to comfortably be CeeDee Lamb. We got our 29th super chat in here. Want to get this one up. Here we go.
Let's do it. So Bust Nasty coming back. We got one side with Burrow and Jonathan Taylor. Other side with Caleb Henderson and a 27 first. Snoog's motioning for it. Dad, I'll throw this one your way. Do we agree, or what side do we like?
Yeah, I mean, you get Caleb in the first is over Burrow, and I have Henderson over Taylor. I could see potentially getting 2 guys that are going, if you're all in, and that's a late 27 first, Burrow and Taylor are going to possibly put up more points, but the value is definitely on the right-hand side.
Yeah. Next one coming in from Dynasty Degen. Appreciate the super chat, Dynasty. We got a no tight end premium league. How would you go for a starter at tight end? So no premium. Are you going out of your way to get one? Are you more looking to trade a player, maybe a pick? What are some ideas here, Dad? What do we think?
So I'm a little confused on the question. I think we're just trying to say the cheapest way to get starting tight end.
I think it's how low would you go? Maybe like in your rankings. I took it as like the lowest you'd go.
Mark Andrews is the
for a
lowest
starting tight end. Okay.
I right now pulling up my rankings here real quick, and I think Snoog and I think similarly on that. Right now, I have Andrews my tight end 12, Ingram my tight end 13. I do not want Mason Taylor. He's my tight end 14. Kelsey's my 15. Likely's my 16. I'm not comfortable starting those guys. I mean, I think it has to be Andrews or Ingram. I always find it gross starting like Ferguson, Strange, Freiermuth. If you get a pair of those guys, you have multiple guys in that range where I hate doing it, trying to like piecework it, but one of them's probably going to end up hitting and getting themselves back there. But for me, it's Ingram at tight end 13 is the lowest I want to go.
This is an interesting one here. Appreciate the super chat, Hunter. He said, "What's the worst trade you've made in the past year?" Do either of you know off the top of your head what's maybe one you made during rookie drafts last year before the season and stuff kind of flipped on its head? What do we think?
I got really excited during a 1-year punt after the punt into the rookie draft. I traded what I thought was going to be the 101 I traded Neighbors for Bryce Young and what I thought was a lock to be the 101. It ended up being the 102. And I if it was Genty, it would have worked. Right. Yeah. But sometimes you play that risk and then it ended up being Hampton and Young do not equal Malik Neighbors. Genty would have, but like sometimes we roll the dice. Snoog and I'm a lot more. I take risks, when I'm doing my rebuilds and when I'm doing my punts and I'm trying to go out there, I'll make some risks. I just hate that I gave up a foundational wide receiver. And after I did it, I was like, I want to get that back. Snoog, what was your worst trade of the year?
I made last year at the beginning of the year. I traded, or it was the beginning of last season. So not this like the season before. I was in like full content mode and I took Amari Cooper and I think it was Deebo Samuel, and Amari finished like wide receiver. He had that crazy good year, like 1,200 yards on the Browns. Crazy good year in Deebo, and I traded Terry McLaurin and Devontae Smith. it like single-handedly almost wrecked one of the teams that I had. My team's still good. It made the championship last year and it ended up winning the championship that year. I think Dalvin Cook was involved with that trade too. But oh my gosh, it's so bad looking back at it. I got these two guys on my bench now that aren't even on teams, and I'm like, what do I do?
Here's what I tell people about when you mess up a dynasty trade, right? Because so many of you guys, you message me and you're like, well, I messed this up. I want to make sure I don't mess up the next one. Or you say, oh man, I don't even know where to go. Like, I don't want to look at my roster anymore. I traded Ashton Genty because I thought it was going to be the 105. And it's like, I understand that. And it sucks. But what you do is you just get right back on that horse. You know, you're gonna win more than you lose. I've probably have a 90+% win rate on my dynasty trades over the last several years. And the ones that you lose, it still sucks, right? But you get out there and you make that next one. A lot of you guys make a bad trade and then you try to overcompensate and try to fix it with another one. Sometimes you make another bad trade. So we got 20 trades in. We got through 30 super chats. We're at that spot, Snoog. Let's give away. We're going to give away 2 basic months, and then we're going to give away the Smash 15 and the 20 VIP.
20.
So get your 4 names on here.
I got it.
Or get your 30 names on here.
30.
We're going to give it
I
away.
got 29 though. I don't know who I'm missing.
Did you get Hunter Wardlow at the end? Bust Nasty.
I got all them. Yeah, I think I missed someone at the beginning.
Glad you said
I'm
that.
sharing the screen. If you pull it up, I bet you Brock is going to pick it out quick.
Yeah, you want to throw it up?
All right. While we do that, I'm going to answer some more questions here. All right. We have one here, and I like when we get guys that are just joining the Discord. We're kind of getting through. Isaac Trullo sent one in. There's so many trades.
Wait, who did? Isaac? I didn't see Isaac.
No, he's not a super chat. I'm just answering a question. He has it right here. While they're figuring out that last one, he said Trujillo. He said Herbert, Rice for Bucky 105 and Shakir. I'm firmly taking. He has Fields in May. I think in this side, I'm definitely taking the quarterback. Give me Herbert and Rice. Brock, any thoughts on that one? Because I think Bucky's going to be good this year, but I think Bucky and Rice are pretty close. You're basically getting Justin Herbert for the 105 and Shakir.
Yeah, there might be like a little appeal to try and add to that running back room. Right now, you only have Kamara and Aaron Jones, but you can't move off of Herbert and Rashi for Bucky in the 105.
Yeah, for sure. And another plug here right now, again, patreon.com/smash accept. You guys use code DAD50. You're going to get 50% off your first month. And a lot of you guys, you're going to be entered here for that basic month. Snoog got that 30 guy in there. But honest, right now, for the basic level, it is $5 a month. Use this code. You'll get in for $250. That's less than 10 cents a day for the first month, just to try it out. See if you like it. 90% of people that have joined, and I know I've been part of other Discords, I've been part of other, Patreons, their turnover rate is 50% plus. We're right now at like a 90% retention because we're building a community. We're not just in there like haphazardly posting content. So let's get this going. Snoog, we're going to give away the first one will just be our basic month of the Discord.
Yep.
When you guys get this, DM me on Twitter, Dynasty Dad FF, or at FF Snoog, or on YouTube, message the comment and we will come and find you. What we got? Christopher C. Congratulations. All right. Next one. Another basic month. Snoog, these last two are going to be juicy, man.
Yeah.
Jordan Ray. Hey, it pays. 3 questions in. You got all those answered for free. Now, number 3. This is to play with Snoog and I in Smash Accept 20.
Dustin,
he's a regular on here. Looking forward to chopping it up and playing with you, Dustin. Make sure you guys DM us. And this is the big one. Hold on, Snoog. Somebody just put in an extra super chat right now. Do we add him into the buzz?
He just won the basic. It was the Chris guy.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Another love of the game on that one. And Christopher, I'm definitely taking the early 27 first side on there. Hey, Stefanta baby. All right. DM us. We will take care of you guys. Honestly, this has been a fun show. I'm excited for everything that's been going on. I'm excited for Trade Show Tuesdays every single week. We're dealing with some vacations right now. I know Snoog and I have been cranking 5-6 shows a week. You know, let Snoog have a life, go do his thing. We're kind of it will be a little bit shorter this week, but thank you guys for tuning in and enjoy the process. Woo! Little laggy on my end there towards the